into The Circle.
Mhm.
This is season 797 of Netflix's The Circle in America. And it's only been on the air for, it feels like 2 years. 700 seasons in 2 years is crazy, but they got it done. No, but we really like The Circle. It's one of those shows where I think when we see the announcement, they're like, dang, they're doing another Circle this year? But then it comes on, we're like, oh yeah, this show's actually really fun and funny.
Well, it's easy for them to make. They're just they have the setup, they're in the room, like it's easy.
And I think I remember reading that during quarantine, they filmed like 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh yeah, you said that.
And they're just kind of
because they're literally quarantined.
Right. It's like the perfect quarantine type of filming show. And so, long story short, there's a social media. It's on the show. There's like they're playing the whole game is played on social media.
We have to give it again.
Right? No, we don't.
Okay.
If you don't know The Circle, go watch
or just
understand.
Google.
So we've had 2 weeks of episodes come out. That's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
We've seen the latest. We've seen all the 6. There's 2 we haven't seen. And so it's a really good season. Again, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. Michelle Buteau kills it as a host. She did this voiceover until the very end of the show. And she's really funny. I really like her as a host. I think she would be a good Big Brother replacement. Although I don't know if she's everyone's style. You know what I mean?
Well, Julie's not everyone's style.
Yeah, I think Julie actually is very few people's style.
Yeah.
It's just that she's
done it for so long.
She was the first and did it for so long.
Yeah.
You relate to her being in the show. I love Julie because of Big Brother. And but I almost have this like thinking that if like Chris Harrison left, we're like, oh, it's going to be so different without Chris Harrison. Then Jesse comes, you're like, oh, it's almost fine. Maybe it's even better.
Yeah.
I wonder if Julie were to leave, and we saw that last week. That episode.
But Jerry O'Connell was not there.
He was horrible. He's not.
I mean, he was not. It's not. He was. He was fine, but he didn't have it.
But if they get somebody awesome, would we almost go like, oh, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So The Circle. This season we've got
3 catfishes. Well, now 4.
Right.
We have the twins. So there's twin brothers from Staten Island who are playing as one of their girlfriends. Yeah. Gianna, who's a bombshell. Then we have Rachel, who is a probably middle-aged woman playing as a young adult woman.
Yeah, like
we don't 20s. Know her
23, I think
connection with her. She's not doing great. Doing great.
I don't know if you remember, you were falling asleep. She just did get ranked 2nd.
Oh, she did? Who was first? Who was ranked first?
Madeline.
Wow.
As Madeline, she got first, and Madeline as her got 2nd.
Okay, so they did a swap. They did a profile swap.
Right.
Which, have they ever done that before?
Not in this way, no.
It was good. So
that's one thing about The Circle. Their twists are immaculate.
Yeah, they're so good.
Their twists are always really fresh and spur gameplay and never stifle it.
Yeah. So Rachel, who's the middle-aged white woman playing as a 23-year-old, swapped places with this girl Madeline, who's this like sexy OnlyFans model, early adult woman. And so Rachel, I don't know their real names, so we just gotta go with Rachel. So Rachel it's a little touch and go with her flirting because Madeline, the OnlyFans model, was in a showmance with Andy, another catfish, Andy, who's being played by a young woman.
Right.
Which she was actually doing great, I thought, as him.
I think they actually, at the end of the day, they both did great.
Yeah.
And we were cringing because we were like, she was taking risk.
Yeah.
And plus, I feel like sometimes the people would be like, huh?
Yeah.
But ultimately, no one ever thought, like, this isn't Madeline.
Yeah. So basically, Madeline and Rachel, if one of them got out, then the other one would be stuck playing the other person's profile for the rest of the game.
Right.
So they were teamed up, and they're like, neither of us can go out. Like, we cannot go out. And this one was do or die because it was, if you get ranked last, you're out.
Right.
So they teamed up and they worked together. And Madeline, who was playing Rachel, was like, listen, we got to cut Andy, who was her showman. Like, that was her, like, circle hubby. Right?
Right.
But she was like, no, I gotta save myself. Which, shout out to you, girl. Like, you did it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it worked. They ranked each other high. They pulled Gianna in. Gianna was up there in the rankings, and Andy was last, and Andy got the boot.
It's when it comes to circle gameplay, it's as good as you can get.
Yeah.
They started an alliance that week.
Yeah.
They had a target that they created that week. That person goes home. They both got ranked 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It would have happened whether they were influencers or whether it was a bottom rank. It's like perfect gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's, again, that's the situation I'm talking about, in that the girls formed a coalition and all the guys were ranked dead last except for Garrett, who is,
he's with the girls.
Right. They kind of drafted him into it. So the guys in Darian, Andy, and Kevin were dead last.
Dang. So now, I really like Darian and Jadeja. They're kind of have a little thing going on, but I'm worried about it. I don't want Jadeja to get dragged down by it.
But she also feels like she needs, because Gianna, like, it was confusion. There is nothing happening with Darian and Gianna, but anytime someone shows any like connection to Darian, she's also like, that's my man.
Yeah, they're kind of going like heavy on the romance, spicy, sexy vibes this season.
I think the production pushes that really hard or they either cast people that they know are going to push that really hard, because there's these combos that they're having. They're not like, how we used to be, not us too, but you know how it was, of people who are millennials on AIM, Instant Messenger, or those early Wild West days of Facebook Messenger. Hey, if you really want to cringe, millennials, listen to me right now.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to cringe, have an out of your body cringe experience, go to your Facebook messages. Scroll all the way down to the Facebook messages you were sending in middle school and high school.
They're still on there?
They're still on there.
Oh no, I need to delete those.
And see not even what people were saying to you, what you were saying to your crushes, to your friends, what you were mad about. And that is pure unfiltered cringe.
Oh, I'm so scared.
That you will never, ever, ever be able to forget. You will wake up and go, well, maybe you'll forget about it, but it's still there until you delete it.
Oh, gosh.
So, again, these conversations aren't like that on the circle, from what we can tell. Now, they could be editing out a lot of it, so it's not like you have even all that time.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I like you. You like me. Circle husband, circle wife.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think it's almost under the guise of, hey, let's flirt and also be in an alliance.
For sure.
There was only, I think, a couple people that have ever taken it super seriously. And that was the British girl whose name escapes me.
Oh, yeah.
Who was, like, ready to, like, get engaged.
Yeah.
To the person who was catfishing her. And a couple of people last season, Corey Tyler.
Yeah.
I think not Corey Tyler, but what's his name?
Poppy Fuego?
Whatever his
Fuego
name was.
Poppy?
I think he was really trying to get with Corey Tyler.
Oh, probably.
Okay. So let's talk about the state of the circle. Let's just go. I think it's just best with a circle because there's so many episodes that come out at once. One thing I want to say is that there's more episodes. We'll update it later, but Andy goes to see Madeline.
Oh, did they show it?
They did, but I paused it because you were deep asleep.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
It's okay. Let's just go start with the bottom and work our way up to the top. Andy.
What about it?
Just what are your thoughts? We'll do
glad he's gone. Don't care.
Yeah, she was kind of, and also, okay. There was a girl playing as Andy, of the guy. Andy is a real person who is actually a member of a band. She didn't say this, but I mean, and I don't even mean this derogatory, but there's really no other way to describe it except a groupie of some of the metal bands in their area, right?
Yeah.
And she also, anyways, and she really admittedly had a crush on Andy. They dated for a while. It didn't work out, but they're still friends. that's what we know.
Yeah.
And so she's playing as a person he has a crush on, and she actually said she still likes Andy, and maybe it would work out. It won't. But then when she came in to meet Madeline's first words were like, "Okay, so you're not Andy. You look similar to Andy? Do you know him?" And she's like, "Okay, here, I'll tell you." And then she was like, "Okay, so you're not Andy. Can I like get his number?" And then the girl who's playing Andy was like, "Oh yeah, of course. You are going to meet him. I'm going to hook y'all two up." And I'm like, "No, you're not.
Oh
What is
my
wrong with you?"
gosh.
That was a whole weird thing. Okay, but
Wait, so you did watch her go?
Well, that happens in the first 5
Oh,
seconds.
okay.
But you're right. I agree.
No, it's okay.
It was time for them to go.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Next is Kevin, our lifeguard.
Kevin, he's just kind of a kid. I don't know.
He's a kid.
He's made some mistakes.
He has.
He sent home his like alliance.
But that's because I think he would rather flirt with Madeline than Savannah.
Yeah, probably.
And then when that didn't work out, you know what I mean? He was in kind of rough water. But now that Andy's gone, he may try to flirt with.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts. He's kind of bumbling around. The one good thing he always does is initiates conversations. He's willing to forgive people even when they like target him and Rachel, and he is very kind and like nice to people.
That's true.
Group. He will be like, "Oh, let's hear more about you."
That's true.
And that sometimes just that likability can go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Before Rachel stirred the pot about him, remember everyone liked Kevin.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so I think he's on the bottom right now, but I think he can bounce back up and even win.
I can't remember why Rachel didn't like him.
She thought he was shifty. And you're right. I don't remember what was the onus of it. But
there was something that Rachel did not like about Kevin, and then it came out that Kevin turned on his alliance member, and she was like, "See, I told y'all." Basically,
yeah. And her and Gianna are so tight. They're both from Staten Island.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. I think he's not out for the count just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget about him. We got a new person in the circle, Tiara. Or we don't really know much about them.
That's another catfish.
Right.
So Tiara's being played by a male
who is her friend.
Who's her in real life. They're besties.
And he doesn't really give a good reason for why he's catfishing as her.
Yeah, well, he said it was because he doesn't meet the male beauty standard. Isn't that what he said?
Again, he didn't really give a good reason for why he's catfishing as her.
Yeah, I think he would have done. I think he would have done fine as himself.
Perfectly fine. Anytime a catfish does the whole like. Anyway, and they make it too dramatic of a reason for why they're catfishing, and it doesn't make sense. I'm already rooting against them.
But he said he was playing as himself, so like
he
already told. But he already told his adoption story.
But they all do that.
Well, okay.
And you know what the first thing he's gonna say when he meets everybody, whether it's at the finale night.
You're right. I already know.
What I want to say is everything I said was all me. Yeah. Everything I told you, that was really me.
Yeah.
I just used the profile. And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. We totally get it. In fact, I would cut him off if I was on the show and it was like, I just want to say, like, let me guess. Everything you said was all you. Except the fact that you're catfishing. Okay, next is Darian.
Yeah, I love Darian. I think Darian, he's doing great, yeah.
Seems like a good guy. We're going to wrap it up. We have a son who's been napping while we record this podcast. We're going to go rapid fire mode. Okay. Darian, cool. Gianna, probably my favorite. The two Staten Island bros.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they kind of annoy me.
I love the Staten Island people. The Pete Davidsons, the Colin Jost. I'm a Staten Island. I'm a fan of Staten Island.
Okay.
Next is
they're probably in a pretty good game though.
Yeah, they
manage to save themselves from going home. They're making good alliances.
They have a ride or die that it's like to the end with Rachel.
Yeah,
they're in a good spot, I think.
Yeah.
Garrett.
I don't feel like I know much about him. He's new. He's kind of just there.
He's going to go to the finale night because I don't think he's going to have enemies.
I guess him and Jadeja had a good combo, so I feel like maybe they can kind of work together. That might be good.
Yeah, the way the circle works is you rank people, right? And so a lot of people rank their enemies last and their friends highest. And the people they're just okay with in the middle. And what happens is the people who you're just okay with, that everyone kind of ranks in that 4th or 5th or 3rd, could end up winning because they just don't have any bottom rankings. So Garrett is going to make it to the end and could win only because I don't think he's going to do anything enough to polarize him, to make
Yeah.
someone rate him dead last.
Yeah.
That's how you lose the circle, is getting ranked dead last.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Jadeja. We talked a little
Love
about her.
her. Think she's great.
Very cool.
She's from Houston.
Yes, she's from
She's
Houston.
smart.
she
has a great career.
She came from poor.
Yeah.
And she'll admit it. A group home.
She came from a group home.
And she's a hustler. So.
She has a lot of younger siblings that she wants to care for.
Cool.
Cares a lot about.
I hope she goes far.
Same.
After that, there's one person I'm missing. There's another girl. Unless Jadeja was third.
We talked about Rachel.
Yeah,
we talked about Madeline.
Madeline, and that's all. I guess that's all the people in the house.
I think so. Tiara. But
yeah, I guess that's
new,
everybody. So that's the circle. If I'm sure, again, there's been 6 episodes. We can't remember it all here at this point, and we do have a child we're gonna go take care of. So I guess that's